Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've got an AFK screen I'm gonna go to, but with two people on here, I want to test my audio real quick. So let's see. Let's go to that. I got it unlisted right now. Dude, we've got like 30 views on that playlist already. All right, let's see. I am. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, that's terrible. Okay, so it's not capturing your voice. OBS. Yeah. Huh. Why can't? No, I'm trying to just record it straight from the Zoom chat. Yeah. Hmm. Mm-hmm. That might be my problem. Yeah, because I can't hear you. Dang it. How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? What plugin did you use? Okay. Let's see here. Good old Google AI. Okay, you need a BB cable. Hmm. All right, let's go. Add audio output capture, maybe. Okay. Device. Speakers. Okay.
I'll send you a link.
Ooh,
Maybe it's
hold on.
kind of
I
useful.
think I got it,
You
baby.
have you have
Yeah,
it?
I think so. All right, can you yap for a second?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I coming through?
All right. Let's see. I'm just waiting on the stream to catch up.
I'll send you a link.
Ooh,
Maybe it's
hold on.
okay. I can
I
hear
think I
myself
got it.
now.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Control C. Actually, no. I'm gonna end this stream. We got the audio. We got. There we go. All right. So let me go. One more thing, Fino. I'm working on this, learning as I go. Let's go back to creator. I think I got to turn it back to public because I had it unlisted a second ago. Nope. Okay. Let's go to this. Oh wait, it is unlisted. Hold on. Good news is after if this goes live, I can like cut all this out. Public, publish, there. All right, there's that. Talk for a split second, just to double check. Oh, all right. Come links up. That's to your Twitter. Huh? Oh, I know why. There, I didn't have audio set up on your live chat. All right, come
Okay.
up. That's to your Twitter. There we go. I'll just put it on live right there so we can see. Post. Oh no! I just I just tweeted without the link. Yeah, I didn't have audio set up on the live chat.
Oh, I've done
Okay.
that before.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe I did that.
You can put it under.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh well, yeah. Especially, well, I don't know. Maybe when you're verified, you're not like Twitter usually like kills your reach
Yeah.
when you post a link. Yeah.
Oh, my Wi-Fi's so slow now. All right, I just tagged you in it too. No man. And last but not least, docs. Where's chat? There it is. All right, after 2 minutes and 34 seconds of struggle bus, I guess we're here. We're live. I'm here with the boy Feno from the fight site.
Okay, we're live.
Yeah, I guess
What's
so.
up, guys?
We'll call. We've been live, but like struggling. I've been struggling. Feno's just sitting here watching me like struggle, just enjoying every second of it. Oh man, so what's up, dude? How have you been, man? What you been up to lately? What kind of stuff you been working on?
Um, so I've been posting like a lot of shorts, just trying to get like that going on, and also like I've been like working on the YouTube, so I'm posting like two videos, short videos, like not super long, like 3 minutes or so on this channel that I think you're going to put a link somewhere.
Yeah, at the bottom.
And yeah, and mostly that, man. And I was supposed to finish a video on Christian Rodriguez, who's fighting tomorrow. So I don't know if I'm going to post that at the end. Um, and we'll see what the future holds for the channel.
Now the big news right now is Brandon Moreno's taking on Steve Erceg, and a lot of people were picking Erceg to beat Moreno, and they're predicting the demise of my boy Brandon Moreno. I know you're not too big on Brandon Moreno's title shots and stuff here, or title chances, I should say. But like, what do you think about him going into this fight with Steve Erceg, who's on like 2 losses in a row?
I feel like he has a pretty decent shot actually in this fight. I don't think the momentum it's going to affect like Erceg too much, I guess. I mean, but you never know because this is like his first like big knockout in his career. So you never know how a fighter is going to bounce back from that. But I would expect Erceg to be mostly himself, maybe a bit more gun shy. Like Erceg is very aggressive usually, and Moreno is kind of on the same phase of his career. Obviously, he's like a lot more advanced into his career, but Moreno is also like someone that used to be like this like aggressive dynamo, and now he's more of a more reserved, a more methodical guy. I'm not sure if that has translated in him having a better process, but he tries to be more careful, more defensively minded as of late. But I feel like it's a very interesting fight. I feel like this is a fight where both guys' strengths can dig into the weakness of the other guy. I don't know how you feel about this matchup.
I honestly, like, I was writing for the MMA Draw. We do the weekly picks on there and stuff, and it was like Miguel, Nate, and I think somebody else was above me when their pick for Steve Erceg, and I was like, I literally put in the article, I'm like, y'all got to be on crack if y'all think Steve Erceg is winning this fight, because y'all gonna get in there and talk trash. I'm not the analyst a lot of these guys are. I just like to go in and have a good time, but I feel like this fight, Steve Erceg, he's I say he's in a bad spot. He had a very close fight with Pantoja, and Kai Car-France hits like a Mack truck. I have a hard time justifying all the love Steve Erceg is getting, and I get that Brandon Moreno is basically in the retirement home for a flyweight at 31 years old, but like at the same time, he didn't look that bad against Albazi. He looked great against Albazi. Let me rephrase that, right? He looked fantastic against Amir Albazi, which, I mean, I didn't pick Amir Albazi to actually look fantastic in that fight. I did have Brandon Moreno winning that, but at the same time, he still showed shades of the old Brandon Moreno before the damage from, the Figueiredo fights and before Pantoja took his soul and all that. So going into this, I don't see Steve Erceg kind of as a level of a Brandon Royval that can give these kinds of problems that always gives Moreno problems, the constant pressure and the volume that Royval really, had success with. And that's kind of why I'm going with Moreno here. Ghost, he was in the stream last week and he's here now. What's up, Ghosty?
Hey, you have Ghost in the house. Yeah, I mean this is interesting because like Moreno haven't been looking great as player. I guess the Albazi was a bit of a showcase, but at the same time, Albazi did not show up to that fight, and it's always like hard to measure how good a fighter actually looked when the opponent didn't do shit. But yeah, I mean, Erceg feels like a step down, but at the same time, we saw Erceg being like very competitive, like just as close of a fight as Moreno had with Pantoja, right? Um, And he offers some interesting stuff that Moreno haven't seen before. Obviously, we saw Moreno against Royval in a very close fight where I feel like Moreno didn't look great. And Erceg is like just as long as Royval. Maybe doesn't fight as long, but what he has is like cleaner boxer with actual pop. Royval like puts numbers together with his hands, but you know he doesn't. He's not actually a puncher. Um,
He's just a
he's
maniac.
more like a it's more like a kicker, volume guy with knees and that kind of stuff. But Erceg is like the guy that can actually hurt you with a good 1-2 or with your left hook. If you ask Matt Snell about it,
Right.
so that's what's interesting about this one because it's like both guys are like very used to be the guy that has the long jab in their fights, and now they're going to face someone that is like just as long as each other and with a good jab. I feel like Ursa uses the jab more to control a fight, while Moreno is like more of using the jab to like keep very busy and set up the left hook. So it's a very interesting matchup in that sense. The grappling is also very interesting because Ursa, if you watch Ursa on the regionals, mostly a grappler, he turned into like this like more refined boxer, kind of in the UFC, to be honest. Um, and Moreno, he's always been like this sneaky like sprint grappler. We saw that when he got like the body lock takedowns against Figueredo, the submission win that he has against Figueredo. That's huge, right? We all know that Figueredo is a legit grappler. So I wonder, and this is 5 rounds and 5 rounds at flyweight. They're going to grappler to grapple at one point. Like it always happens in this division.
First, I want
So
to ask Ghost a question real quick here. He's got a couple questions, but Ghost, do you hear any echo when Fino's talking? Because I'm seeing some on my mic. I want to make sure it sounds good. But yeah, I think the grappling in this can be fantastic. Steve Erceg does have really good grappling, and Moreno is about as scrambly as it gets now. I want to point out something that Ghost and our boy JD said on the Fight Mind show, and it's all about context. And everybody, I feel like they're giving Erceg a lot of credit off the Pantoja loss. But like, do you think it's fair to say like Pantoja literally fights everybody life and death? It doesn't matter how good they are.
yeah, except Kaya Sakura apparently, but
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's a yeah. I feel like Pantoja obviously like we gotta remember that he's very old for a flyweight. Um, he's like not despite like looking very good as of late, and being like turning into like this unexpected dominant champion. He's not in his athletic prime, so he has been relying a lot on like turning every fight into a dogfight, and that obviously allows him to win fights, but at the same time, like it gives chances to his opponents to get the work done. Like it's never going to be flawless for Pantoja, except for Kaya Sakura.
yeah. Yeah, it's weird though, because like I feel like it doesn't matter who he fights, and it's just going to be a life and death fight, which is good for us, because like that just means every time you watch Alessandro Pantoja fight, it's going to be an absolute barn burner. Catch up with some comments. Ghost wants to know thoughts on Moreno's coach with Saif Saud. You think that's a bad fit?
Man, I don't know. I feel like Moreno kind of fits in Fortis. Um, it's like the closest you get into the like between the big gyms right now to like what James Krause was doing.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's kind of a good fit. I feel. Never being like super big on Fortis MMA guys, but they're kind of solid to be honest. One thing that I do like about Fortis MMA guys is that they are very well rounded, and that plays well into Moreno. Moreno is a very complete fighter. Um, and second, they work well in transitions. Like if you see the 47 MMA fighters, even the ones that you associate with something more specific, like for example, like Alex Morono, who is like a classic 47 MMA guy. Obviously, like a dedicated striker, but he has some tricks in transitions. Excuse me, Morono is a guy that will find like elbows inside the clinch. He has a nasty guillotine. And I feel like those are the stuff that can work pretty well with Moreno, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm happy you brought up Alex Moreno. He didn't get enough credit. He's not the best fighter in the world, but he always comes with some interesting game plans. And he gives people a hard time that he shouldn't. Like, even though he's washed up, like there was no way he should have had what's his name, Pettis going life and death with him, even at that point in his career. But he always comes with some good, you know, some good game plans here. Let's see. Evan Lee says Brandon Moreno, more like Brandon Moore. No more. I don't know. I don't know. I think Brandon Moreno's got some time left. I mean, I'm gonna tell you my dream fight for Brandon Moreno, dude, is gonna be a move up to bantamweight with either Sean O'Malley or Petr Yan. I think both of those would be like absolute fireworks with, you know, Moreno's offensive style, where he's this, that, and the other. I think those would be really fun fights. And I mean, he's not getting a title shot anytime soon, so might as well make some fun fights for him. Evan Lee and Ghost both said we sound good. Badger Feno from the fight site. How would you rate Jack's like timestamp, the GOAT, literal GOAT up in here, says, how would you rate Moreno and Usyk as a fight out of 10? As far as like implications, I give it like a 5. Like, you know, Moreno could lose his ranking, but realistically, Usyk's not ranked very high. But, you know, as far as like an entertaining option, like anytime Brandon Moreno fights, I'm entertained. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I feel like especially when it comes to like fight night main events, this one for sure one of the better ones, especially because it has like a pretty good balance of being like an actual like semi-important fight, but also a fight that is going to be entertaining. For example, like Brady versus Leon Edwards was obviously a big fight with big implications, but it was never going to be like super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
This one, it has like banger written all over it. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a fan of either of the guys, you gotta admit that these guys have been involved in a lot of exciting fights. And I think like they match in the right way that it's not going to be boring. Like, I feel like the fact that Moreno versus Royval, the second one, was kind of a stinky fight. It was like such an anomaly. I don't really expect Moreno to turn into that fighter for the rest of his career, at least not for the time being.
Yeah, I think, again, like you said, it's a fun fight. I like it. You know, I mean, we're going to be entertained this weekend. It could be like, we could be getting another middleweight main event, you know? Sean
Yeah,
Strickland.
man, yeah.
Nah, I'll pass on that, right? Let's see. Moreno is the GOAT if the FBI never catches James Cross for multiple DraftKings accounts for extra sign-up bonuses. This podcast is not affiliated with DraftKings. It's just funny. Nathan says people really don't want to see Moreno get a shot. I mean, well, I can understand, but another quadrilogy is pretty nuts. I agree, and also he's down 0-3. You know.
Yeah, man. I feel like, to be quite honest, I feel like Moreno doesn't deserve a title shot as long as Pantoja is the champion. To be honest, like, they should do what they did to Joseph Benavides after the second Mighty Mouse fight. Like, he can be number 2 all he wants, but he gotta wait for another champion to go for a title fight. And I agree with you. Like, Moreno should move to bantamweight eventually. I mean, he has the size. He's a pretty big flyweight. He has room to put on mass. And there's a lot of like interesting, like fun matchups up at 135 for him.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Select says it all the time. Like, you know, there's hardly any bantamweights you could put together that would be bad matchups. You know, outside of the odd low kicker that beats Jose Aldo cornerly, that we won't mention his name on here, but. Like just the amount of depth they got there, and you know, Moreno's his 2-time title challengers get him a quick shot inside the top 10. You know, I do think Brandon Moreno can beat Alessandro Pantoja. I also think he has kind of a confidence issue when he feels like somebody has his number, you know, so that might put a little a nail in that coffin. But you know, I his future is going to be these fun fights, I think. Like you said, they give him the Joe B treatment, and as long as Pantoja's around, and it's funny because Pantoja's like, yeah, I'm not going up to 135 anytime soon. I'm good where I'm at. So it's like, yeah, you know. But yeah, I think that'd be fun. Ooh, Merab and Moreno could be a interestingly scrambly fight.
Yeah, but Merab also like kind of huge. Like, he's not tall, but like I feel like Merab is a scary fight for any flyweight because like Merab is thick and strong as shit. So
yeah,
I would be like, I feel like matchup wise, Pantoja versus Merab is very interesting. But then I remember that like Merab is like at least 15 pounds bigger than Pantoja. So
Yeah, that's true. We Evan Lee just said we have to remember our main event 2 weeks ago was Vittori and Delize 2. Jeez, I didn't even make a video on that. That was such a just. I was like, I am disgusted.
bro, yeah, I mean, I that one was like such a head scratcher because no one thought it was a good fight the first time around. And the funny thing is that both Vettori and Delice are less relevant now than the first time around. But now they got the main event treatment, of course.
And we're gonna get a main event trilogy. Watch, and it's like, no, please. And
when,
watch it
when
go to
they're
draw,
like
and we get a
when they're
fourth
like
fight.
40,
Oh my
yeah.
god. Oh, I'd be like, this is ridiculous. This is what happens though. This is what happens when you have a monopoly, though. I mean, they don't have any incentive to try. Like, they don't. Like, there's nobody competing. Like,
They,
PFL has great fighters, that can compete with some UFC guys, and it's like it doesn't matter. Like, they have a monopoly. That's what it is.
I really feel like the UFC, like under the like the new administration by Don Davis of the PFL, they don't feel threatened anymore. They know the PFL can't do shit, and they just like giving up slot because they know that the UFC can put on like the worst main event, like like unranked middleweights, and it's still going to do better than the PFL putting on like big fights. Because the PFL doesn't know how to promote fights. It's just as simple as that. Like they have very good fighters, but I don't know what they do. I don't know how they manage to do it. But PFL events first, the presentation is so bad. The atmosphere is trash, man. It feels like death. It's
Fox.
like worse
It feels
worse
like
than
the
the
Fox
Apex,
era
man.
events in
Yeah,
2025.
man. It feels so yeah, and also the broadcast is like super weird. Like they're interviewing like Big John in between the fights. It's like, and and
On a
and
Zoom
there
call.
here comes Big John with a terrible like webcam. It feels so trashy, man. Like I'm not a fan of the production values of the PFL, man. They can have the smart gauge, they can tell you how fast a punch is, but it feels so cheap to be honest.
And what's crazy though, what's crazy is like the smart cage and stuff's not bad ideas because if the UFC's picking it up. They're putting NFC chips in the gloves now, so you can tell when you buy somebody's glove what it is. So it's like all of this isn't bad ideas, and all it is just for gambling, is what it is. They want,
Yeah,
it's just gambling numbers. Let's see. Where I got to catch up on chat real quick. Where are we? How bad does Horiguchi do both of these dudes? I think Horiguchi beats Urseg. I don't think he beats what's his name,
Moreno.
Brandon Moreno at this point in his career. I don't think he. I love Kyoji Horiguchi. OG of the sport. But at the same time, like, man, he's looked slower in his last couple fights.
It's weird. I feel like Prime versus Prime, Horiguchi a lot better, but I feel like maybe Moreno a little bit more equipped to be an old guy in the division than Horiguchi. Horiguchi like relies a lot on being like super explosive, and he's still fast, but yeah, he has lost a little bit, and that could be concerning.
Moreno's lost a little bit too, though, so it might be closer than we thought.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see.
It's a very interesting fight though. Like I would love to see it.
Yeah, and timestamp, my boy timestamp says, does Horiguchi and Urseg or Moreno sound like a banger? Absolutely. Anything. I'll tell you this. Let me put it to you this. I'm so Kyoji Horiguchi starved in big shows right now that you could literally put him in against Mario Batista, and I'd be like, yes, Horiguchi's back. Like, I'd watch it. Main event, 5 rounds. Let's go, baby. Let's see. What else have we got here? Where am I? I'm lost again. Vittori versus Delize 3 is absolutely going to open a pay-per-view, more like headline a pay-per-view. That's the fight of the
For
year.
the what should they make it for the BMF title?
No, I can't. I can't. I would never take this company seriously again, and I would literally only watch PFL. That's a bold-faced lie. That's a lie if I ever knew one. Throwback to PFL bringing in that basketball player who had glass on his shoes when he inadvertently TKO'd Cedric Doumbé. That was shameful, really. Like, I don't know what you would do in that situation as a referee either. Like, I don't hate that they had to call the fight, but like that was such a weird fight. And then
It was
Baki's
so
like,
cursed. It was so Bellator coded.
it was right after too, like right after they bought Bellator, and Baki's like, yeah, I'll fight him again, and Baki's never fighting him again because he knows Cedric Doumbé was about to start getting the best of him in that fight.
Yeah, but but yeah, you can tell that the UFC is not worried because Doomba is like such a star. Like and the PFL is not doing shit with him.
No, it's a shame too. They haven't had an event since the last year. They hadn't had an event all of this year. You don't be the number 2 competitor when KSW is constantly putting on events. You know, I feel like KSW is probably your second best MMA promotion, and the only reason they're cool is because we're getting what's his name, the Beast versus Pujanowski. Like that's the fights we want, baby.
Just go full like KSW in it.
Just go KSW, exactly. I remember, dude. Okay, so BKFC came to I think it was New Orleans. It was either New Orleans or Biloxi, which is close to my house. So I went to the event, and I was there when they announced that they signed the Iranian Hulk. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
He
The
puts
Iranian
motor
Hulk,
oil
and
into his
the
biceps.
dude was
So
all filters. Like he was such a fraud.
oh, and they were so serious about signing him. Like, yeah, he's gonna fight. He's never fought. He's never gonna fight. I think he had medical complications recently or something.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to fight like that dude that was actually huge?
Yeah, I don't know. Ghost says PFL makes me ill. We have a fan of PFL in the Riggs Discord, and he is frustrated. Yeah, they don't put on events, man. Like, what are they even doing? Like, Don Davis is out here tweeting at John Jones, "Hey, come get 50 mil in the PFL." Like, when's he gonna fight? You know, like you got Francis Ngannou who doesn't really want to do MMA anymore. He just wants to box. Like, can't blame him, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, Ngannou like obviously got paid like well for an MMA fighter for his last PFL fight, but you know he didn't get anything compared to what he made against like Tyson Fury. So obviously he's trying to make another big fight in boxing, especially because he got ranked right after the losing to Tyson Fury. So even though he's like a one draw and one loss as a professional boxer, he still is like a ranked heavyweight right now.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, like we've been talking about PFL and stuff, and I don't think that's a good way to spend our time. I love you guys.
Yeah,
we're gonna redirect the chat here. It's kind of like I'm frustrated with PFL, and I can only say so much about it. Also, Feno, I didn't realize this, but there is a phone call amount time on Zoom because I don't pay for Zoom.
Oh, how
so,
long do
so
we
what we'll
left?
do? You got like 9 minutes. So if you get booted, I'm gonna start up a new stream.
Okay.
And send you the link again because we run it like that. This is a really good question here. Evan Lee asks, since he's a loser now, can we get Gable Steveson in the UFC? I tweeted this the other day. Like, I'd be totally okay with debutante Gable Steveson debuting in the UFC. What do you think about him? Like, it's been a long time since we've seen a prospect like this.
Yeah, I would be totally fine with that. But he would be kind of stupid to do it, to be honest, because the UFC is going to offer him like a terrible contract. And I bet he can try to go to like anywhere else. Like even though there's no competition in MMA, I bet like PFL or
Rising.
One or Rising, it's gonna offer him more money than the UFC. If he's like confident that he's going to be heavyweight champion, that could be something. But and he probably can, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like there's no one.
Well, John Jones is not going to out wrestle him, you know, and he's not going to be there by the time he gets up. You could say Tom Aspinall beats him. That'd be the really only guy I'd be concerned about.
Yeah, Tom Aspinall, like if he doesn't have cardio in an MMA context, he might lose to like someone like Volkov. But at the very beginning, like you can feed him like lower tier guys, and he's going to run through them because like no one can defend a takedown. Yeah. Yeah,
Parker.
I think they cut Parker Porter, but you can always bring him back.
Tai Tuivasa, my king.
Tai Tuivasa is actually dangerous for a guy like that, to be honest.
I love
because
Tai Tuivasa. He's so
fun. He's so janky, man. But he tries so hard.
Gable Steve KSW rules. Badger says KSW rules big facts. At the end of the road to Eastern Europeans or the English geezer king. Blaine, are you also Phil DeFreeze pilled? Fino, please speak extensively about Phil DeFreeze. So I interviewed Phil DeFreeze a long time ago, and he follows me on Twitter and occasionally likes one of my tweets. So it makes me so happy. I love Phil DeFreeze. Tuivasa can't make 265 anymore. Yeah, probably not. So I believe we have a request. Please speak about Phil DeFreeze. Like, what do you think about Fino?
I feel like I feel like it's very unfair for my part because even though he has been like KSW champion for like years and years now, and he has improved so much. The one thing that I always remember about Field of Fries is when he got knocked out going for a takedown with a little uppercut by Matt Mitrione back in the day, and Goldberg screamed out of his lung, "He ran into a wall! He ran into a wall!" And that's like the one memory that I always have of Field of Freeze. That was in England, I think.
I'm happy for him though. He seems because you remember he had that depression problem, man. He had
yeah, and he has been happy. Like so dominant, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Gable Stevenson and Nathan says Gable Stevenson and Ryzen is a fever dream. Immediately gets soccer kicked back to the NCAA. He still has eligibility. He could totally do it.
Yeah, they're going to be like Gable against like a random puro wrestle guy in Japan, and he's going to get kicked in the head or something. I love Rising is so random, man. Like the random shit happens in Rising. Remember when King Mo knocked the fuck out of Jiri Prohaska? Like that was crazy at the time.
And Jiri, like anytime you say Jiri's like a good fighter now, it's always gonna be or like you say he's like, he wins. Everybody's like, oh yeah, that's why he got knocked out by King Mo. I'm like,
and King Mo was like 44 or something.
Right. And I get it. King Mo wasn't the greatest fighter, and he definitely wasn't the greatest fighter at 40. But it happens, you get knocked out. So, wait, we mentioned Jiri, actually. Opinion, MMA GOAT conversation. It is useless, like my favorite analysts say. I mean, it's fun. I like talking about who the best ever is, and there's only one answer. It's George St. Pierre. Actually, no. There's two answers. It's GSP and John Jones.
No, it's Jose Aldo, bad. But I can allow it.
We're gonna fight now. Let's go.
We're gonna fight. Now, yes. I can take GSP. Like John Jones, I see it, but also like he hasn't beat anyone, so I'm not taking John Jones.
Let's take a look. Now this is where I get into a lot of trouble because it rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and I hope you get kicked out while we're talking about this, so I can just go on. Okay, so Jose Aldo, his run up to the title, up to the McGregor fight was absolutely incredible. It's probably the peak MMA moment, right?
Yeah, that's where I go. Like, I feel like it's not only like the eye test, it's like that he was beating like the best opposition consistently, but obviously like losing those fights still count against him. Like I would not argue otherwise. It's like, it's not that from the moment from McGregor on, it doesn't count. Like
yes, it does.
No, I'm saying. Some people say like.
Oh yeah, that's why I get in trouble. That's exactly where I was going.
No, yeah, I can understand it. I'm still going to defend Aldo, to be honest, but I understand that point of view. Like you can hold the losses against him if you want.
Yeah, like people are quick to like discount the end of like Anderson Silva and BJ Penn's career because it's like, oh, they were so great, and I get you grew up watching those guys fight. But at the end of the day, the whole object of the game is to win, And if you start losing at the end of your career, you need to hang it up. I mean, that's really hurt like Mike Tyson's career in boxing. It's what you do matters even after you're champ. Like, let's see, who Glover Teixeira's late 40 run, like that was incredible. That's Hall of Fame more than right there. And he lost fights he shouldn't have. So what you do matters, and if we're going to count Glover Teixeira's win of the title, we got to count BJ Penn having a near 500 record.
Yeah, I mean
that stings.
It depends. Like you gotta put it in context. Like it's not quite the same, but I feel where you're coming from. But I feel like it comes past a certain point that I think it actually doesn't matter. For example, like the McGregor fight for Aldo obviously counts. Like he was champion. He's not like he was like on his way out. So that one like clearly counts. The fights against Max Holloway, even though he wasn't at his peak, he was still like an elite fighter at the time. From BJ Penn, I feel like
fighter.
For BJ Penn, for example, a loss that actually counts is the one, for example, against Frankie Edgar, the second time.
Yeah.
I don't count the first one, but because I feel like BJ Penn won the first fight against Frankie. But for example, I don't think like the fight from BJ against like Ryan Hall or Jair Rodriguez amount to anything, to be honest. Like he was like so clearly out of it that I don't count that one, to be honest. But he did lose. But he did lose on his prime though. I do feel, for example, and I also consider, like, for example, GSP, like, I count that loss to Johnny Hendricks because we all know he lost to Johnny Hendricks. But he still made it a close fight, so it was a good showing, even though I don't think he won. It's good. It's still good for his legacy, even though
Right.
it's like a fake win.
Right, exactly. And there's something to be said though. Like when it comes to goat, I think you do absolutely have to take in, you know, all the wins and losses. But there's also something to be said about like the pinnacle. Like for example, in boxing, I don't think there's a fighter in history that could have beat Mike Tyson the night he fought Michael Spinks. You know, I think it was just destiny for him to be the best fighter of all time there. Um, Cain Velasquez, that short run he had, like there was never a heavyweight like that. There's not a heavyweight that would have beat the Cain Velasquez that absolutely beat the snot out of Junior Dos Santos those two fights. Like there's something
Kane
to
was
take
so
away
good.
from
Yeah,
there.
yeah. But yeah, at the same time, I don't. I feel like I hold more against Kane, like what he didn't do because he lost so much time being injured,
Yeah,
more than I hold like that loss against Francis Ngannou, for example, against him.
right. I made money on that one. I don't ever bet. Fino, we got a minute left on your time, so hold on 1 second. I'm going to
Okay,
get out of this. I'm going to go to my regular camera screen real quick. Let's, guys, I gotta restart. This is so janky. Fino will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, hold on. New meeting. I got to do it quickly. I got to do it quickly and get Fino back in here. This is so bad. Oh no. All right, participants. Invite. Copy invite link. Guys, I know. Don't make fun of me. This is just how we do it over here on this side of the world. I say this side of the world like it's something. I don't know. Fino, come back, please. I'm like a fish out of water right now. We know who the real GOAT is. Trinaldo versus high budget right here. Professional production. Yeah, bro, watch this. Watch this. I'm going to show you something, Nathan. Let's see. What can we do? We're going to go AFK. Oh, no. Let's see. Is he back yet? All right, so I got the live chat. It's going to show me until Fino comes back in. Double the pleasure. Double the pride, twice the fall. Get back in here, Fino. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Make predictions on the weekend. Ghost, I want your prediction. Finding Fino, and here we go. Admit him in. Fino is back. I hope he is. All right, everybody, can you hear Fino? He's back. We got a whole nother 45 minutes on this talk.
I'm back. We have another 40.
This is how we do it, baby. This is the life. Oh no, Evan Lee said Finding Fino. Like, oh my goodness, that's a good movie actually. Ghost, I need you to predict Brandon Moreno and and Steve Urseg because I know you don't do that. What do you
Okay,
think
we're
about that?
back.
I hate goat conversation in general. Sounds good, great. Yeah. So what do you think about that? Making picks for content. Me and
Um,
Ghost have been talking about it. He's been talking about it with JD and stuff. Well, let me get your thoughts on it, Fino, because you do a lot, dude. You do a lot of like clipping and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on
yeah.
content?
Okay, so mostly when the thing that like I have the most follower for is the fall preview where I preview every fight before a pay-per-view, and the week before I'm posting clips, and then I do my podcast where I do like a breakdown for every single fight,
Mm-hmm.
and I give a pick at the end. But I always say like I'm more concerned about like and it's most like an exercise or like giving people something to expect from the fights. And obviously like a lot of bettors follow me for that reason, even though like just to like get insight because they don't actually like follow my picks. But at the end of the day, like it's to me like the big part is like unless it's like very obvious, I don't think it's very important. Like there's a lot of like unknowns going into every fight. Like some fighter might have gotten better in between camps, and you can predict that. A fighter might go injured into the fight, might miss weight. There's a lot of factors, and it doesn't it doesn't matter at the end. I feel like picks are fun though. It's just like being a fan of the sport. Like you root for certain fighters. I for sure have a lot of fighters that I'm a fan of. and
Like
I root
Jose?
for. I'm not that big on Aldo. Like
You just said he was the GOAT.
he's the goat, but I mean, I like him a lot, but it's not like I would like root for him against anyone. Like, for example, like Dustin Poirier could get into a fight with my grandma, and I would be rooting for Dustin Poirier, like in the spot, like get here with the right hook, boy.
The Poirier shift on your grandpa. Hey, well, look,
yeah.
let me tell you this. Okay, I'm a Louisiana guy. I'm from Louisiana. I'm 45 minutes from Poirier's house, and I am 10 minutes from Kurt Holloway's house. You are now an honorary Louisianian, Feno.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
I need to get the.
You got to
hot
change your
sauce.
name because we're French down here, bro.
I'm like 1/8 French, by the
Okay,
way.
cool. Yeah, we can work with that. Sirium says Moreno is a fraud and Ursic's going to spark him out. And Evan Lee is Sirium's friend. So do you want to respond to that, Feno? That's your homie.
Moreno is kind of fraud. No.
I knew
like,
it. You freaking fight side guys hate Brandon Moreno. Y'all love Joseph Benavidez and the rest of the flyweight division, but for some reason you hate Brandon Moreno. It's probably because he makes weird faces when he fights, and I love it.
I don't know why I don't like Moreno, to be honest. Like, he's fun, but he's a lot of fun. He's always on good fights, and he's not a bad fighter, but he's not like exactly my cup of tea. But he's cool. He's cool. I don't hate it. And no, yeah, he's not a fraud. Like, I feel like if anything, like some people go way overboard with the hate. Like, obviously he has won all those fights because he knows what he's doing there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm picky with the fighters that I like. There's a lot of very good fighters that I'm not a fan, and there are some like weird fighters that I do like. So you get kind of weird when you follow the sport for so long.
Fenois Saint Denis. You got a French name now. You're
Okay,
Fenois.
let's go. For example, I hate Saint Denis, and
I did a
like,
video
he's cool.
on
Like,
him, got a lot of views.
I don't hate why I don't like it, but I hate him.
I did a video and got a lot of views on Benoit Saint Denis, and I was
He has
like,
a huge following, man.
yeah, he's huge, and like the French guys were like so excited, and then he was booked to fight Dustin Poirier. I'm like, that's it. This video is about to be toast because Dustin Diamond Poirier is about to take it from him, baby. And sure enough, Dustin, after getting like mauled, I was like, Benoit looks scary in that first round, man.
Yeah, Dustin fought so bad, and he still like beat his shit.
Yeah, just a short hook. That's all it is. Who was the heavyweight who recently fought with a weird facial tick? I think what's his name? He's got Tourette's, I believe it is, huh?
I don't know, to be honest, and I've never read that he has it, but it's weird because he's from Uzbekistan, and Damir also from there, and he also has the weird like tick in the eye, so that's kind of weird, right? Like two fighters from the same country and they have the same habit. It's kind of weird.
That is a weird. Do they play together? Do you know?
No, I don't know actually.
That's weird if you pick up facial like expressions from the screen.
Yeah.
Like,
but it doesn't seem to affect him, to be honest. Like, he's not like getting clipped at an abnormal rate from that side. He's not getting hit because of it. So I don't know. Like, people were saying like that Leonard Kavanagh should cut his hair because he's like doing this all the time. But like, as long as it's not getting you in trouble, like, it's okay, I guess.
Something in the water in Uzbekistan. Karate Combat champion Sam Alvey. I've got an interview coming up with Sam Alvey for Karate Combat. I picked up some freelance work for him.
Isn't Alvey going to fight what's his name, the kickboxer, that very scary guy? I'm blanking right now.
He's fighting Tyrone Sprong, yeah.
Oh, Sprong, yeah. Oh, dude.
He said, I'm going to spoil the interview a little bit, and I'm sorry I'm making fun of Sam Alvey in this, and I'm spoiling the interview, but he said in the interview, literally, I'm going to go out there and beat Tyrone Sprong and prove I'm the greatest karate champion in the world. I'm like, no.
Oh my god.
And you know, good and well, I'm keeping that in there too. I gotta get the rage bait.
Oh my god. Yeah, you gotta do that. You gotta use that for the thumbnail or the title, man, because that's crazy.
I think that's what I put actually for the title. He's the greatest karateka in the world. I really
wanted Sam Alvey to fight the Spain.
That would have been the most glorious fight ever. I saw Sam Alvey choked me out actually one time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so the Karate Combat flew me down to the Dominican Republic when he made his debut. And I don't like party or anything like that, and he doesn't either. So him and his wife, me, Eddie Machado, and Abby and Mac Tyson took the bus back to the resort, and we were there watching Valentina Shevchenko, Alexa Grasso on my phone. All of us just huddled around my phone, and then I was like, I can tap you to spine pressure from back, huh? I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, watch this. So he got on my back and he flexed his hips out, and sure enough, my spine felt like it was on fire. I was like, oh, that's the move that you want your gym partner to never train with you again. That's what you do. But yeah, he sure did. Then he choked me. Then he actually choked me out. Oh, the boy Dan Tom in here,
Dan Tom,
the
the
king,
goat.
baby,
The goat.
the goat. Literal, like Dan Tom. We stand on the shoulders of Dan Tom, like the giants. You think Karate Combat has ever approached Machida? I'd watch Machida versus Alvey. I know for a fact Karate Combat would die to have Lyoto Machida in there, and they've tried time and time again, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes perfect sense, man.
Yeah, they want Stephen Thompson too, but they can't obviously because
You know what Karate Combat should try to do, because they have done the celebrity fights and shit. They should try to get some people from Cobra Kai into some fights. That would be huge, man.
I think they actually started training karate too, which is cool.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Sam Alvey and his massive hog. Dan, I don't want to know how you know that.
maybe that's why he has a supermodel wife.
Yeah, maybe so. Dan, are you meat watching, bro?
Meat watch, the meat report instead of the Southpaw report.
Oh, the meat paw report. Yeah, I love that, dude. You should just Dan. You should have a whole segment based on just rating all the fighters on the main card's bulge.
Yeah, you just try to find all the pictures from the weigh-ins, and you judge them based on that.
Fun fact, Justin Gaethje has seen Max Holloway's meat.
Oh yeah, when he dropped the towel.
He straight up looks at it. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Yeah,
what?
he looks at it.
Michael Jai White and Karate Combat. Oh my god. Oh,
Didn't Michael J. White wanted to fight Joe Rogan?
No, that was Blade. What's his name? Wesley Snipes.
Oh, it was Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
You're
Wesley
right.
Snipes. Joe Rogan talked about it on his podcast. I ain't gonna lie, like Joe Rogan would have messed up Wesley Snipes, but boy, that would have sold some pay-per-views.
That would have gone crazy. I mean, Joe Rogan wasn't as famous at the time, but Wesley Snipes was. So,
Sam, hold on, we got more meat talk right here, bro. Sam posted a promo video ahead of his Elias Theodoro fight. Rest in peace, of him hitting the pads and it left nothing to the imagination. Post the link in the chat so I can know what to avoid, Dan. Please, I want to make sure I avoid that and never see that ever. That's funny. So what else? What are you looking forward to on the card this weekend, man? Because it looks like a bad card at first, but like you go through it time and time again, and you're like, hey, this isn't so bad. This is a decent fight, and now you got like half a decent card coming on Mexico City. What are you looking forward to?
let me check the card again, because I don't remember the whole thing. But I think this one is pretty decent. To be fair, like I thought like last week's was pretty decent, and it ended up being like pretty trash. So you never know, man.
Yeah.
Even the cards that look decent now are bad. Okay, so we have, let me do a quick rundown. Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. I approve. Good main event. Then we have a co-main. We have Manuel El Loco Torres against Drew Dover. Kind of a banker, man. Like, I like it. Like, it's going to be stupid and violent, so what else can you expect?
Yeah.
We have Kelvin deciding he doesn't want to try to diet anymore, so he's back at 185 to be a fat boy.
Dude, do you think Pfeiffer knocks him out?
Oh, man, I don't know, man, because
Pfeiffer's like a heavyweight, dude. A light heavyweight, man.
Pfeiffer is fucking huge and he's super hard, but like, you gotta go back at the clip of those guys telling Rashad Coulter that, listen, he's a big old Mexican with a big old head. You're not going to knock him out.
Hey,
what else we have? We have Raul Rosas versus Vince Morales. That's interesting because Morales is a good grappler, so he's going to meet Rosas where he wants. I'm kind of pissed that Rosas is over my boy Christian Rodriguez in the building, though.
Yeah. I like Vince Morales a lot, man. I like his body work. He hits the body well. I think that could be a big
Yeah,
factor in
yeah,
the
Vince
fight.
Morales is cool, but I'm kind of scared for this one because if like Rosas wins, Vince is probably going to get caught, and that's like the second time that he gets caught, so he's probably done in the UFC. So it would be nice to see him like mount the comeback here.
Yeah.
What else is interesting? Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas is cool, but Borjas hasn't shown up in the UFC. But I feel like this could be a good fight if he shows up. Mel Costa versus Christian Rodriguez is very cool, and I feel like that's it. But this is actually a very solid card. Like there's not one fight that I actually hate here.
I like
The
Hubbard,
worst
man.
fight.
Hubbard's fun too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he brings the fight.
The bad fight here, it's going to be like the Teva Gautier against Jose Medina, but that's going to be a train wreck because Jose Medina is like the funniest guy in the UFC right now.
Yeah.
He brings the heavyweight energy to middleweights.
I'm surprised that's not on the main card.
Yeah, the people are probably going to go nuts for that one. And that's the other thing, that this card is going to be better because the Mexican crowd is crazy.
Nathan said, did Hendricks and Gastelum ever fight? I don't think they did. No, Johnny Hendricks was like nose diving.
No, they did.
Did they? Who won?
Yeah. Gastelum won like a very boring fight in that one.
What? I don't remember that.
That was the fight where Hendricks actually showed up in very good shape for that one, but still fought bad. It was after the Magny fight, I think, for Hendricks.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Then he beat Tim Kennedy and retired Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, Gastelum after that moved up to, or I think Gastelum after that he fought Tyron Woodley and missed weight, and then he was forced to go to 185, and then he retired Tim Kennedy. Yeah.
Yeah. So they got a big question in the chat now. They want to know who would win, you or Crazy Kev. I don't know if you're ready for Tang Sudo, bro.
Feno versus Crazy. He's probably my size. I mean, I've seen that he's very small. I'm like a bantamweight, so we can fight, man.
You're a bantamweight?
We can scrap.
You're a bantamweight?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm in shape, I'm like 150.
Oh my gosh, that's why you post such ripped photo. I'm like a big chunky guy, man, and
no, for me it's easy to be jacked.
I'm not jacked at all. I'm just big. I'm natural. I'm 6'2". I got a big frame. Feno, I want to grapple with you. I want to roll. I want to lay on you, bro.
I'm not gonna concede takedowns. I'm going to be running. I'm too fast.
If we're not punching, I don't think you can. Like,
I'm too fast. I'll just climb a tree or something, and you won't be able to catch me.
I get made fun of it in my gym because I'm one of 3 big guys. The other 2 guys are like, one's a blue belt, he's decent. I'm a white, I'm no good. But the other one's a black belt. He's 6'4", 200 pounds, and he works at the roughest prison in the state of Louisiana. So
that's probably a tough guy, right?
Yeah, that's the guy I train with all the time, and he got the slow country draw, and he's like just super like nice and everything. And well, Blame, what you do here is you lean back on my leg. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. But yeah, so Movement Marshals is up here. What's up, bro? Let's see. Okay, I was going crazy because I thought Gaston was saying 185, and I thought of Hendricks. Yeah, that's a weird, man. That Johnny Hendricks, Robbie Lawler, 2 fights. That was
Hendricks was never the same after those.
No. Robbie just broke people. Neither was Rory McDonald or Carlos Condit, really.
Oh yeah. To be honest, Hendricks, man.
I've got a title for a Robbie Lawler article that I've been wanting to do for years. I just hadn't got around to it, called "The Ruthless Reign of Robbie Lawler."
Oh, that's cool, man.
That's such a good title, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna approach it. I want to talk about his title reign in Dirty Boxing.
I have no idea what I want to do, but I have a good title.
I have a good title. That's where I'll start. YouTube, that's what they want you to do. Like YouTubers are like, come up with a thumbnail and a title first.
Yeah, they always say on the YouTubers tutorials, like, come up with the title and the thumbnail before the video. That's crazy.
That. Like, you come up with great movie titles and stuff, and the movie sucks. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Feno via K-guard entry to the backside 50-50 heel hook versus who? Me? Or
going to heel hook you, man.
You might be. You could heel hook me. Although I can leg press 1,000 pounds, and if you get anywhere near me, I'm going to leg press you into the wall. Just kidding, by the way. Like you'd probably mess me up. I'm not a very good.
I can squat like 350, so
You can squat 350. I eat a cake this weekend. I might be 350. I'm kidding. I'm only 270, which is still way too big. But let's talk about the Hall
no,
of Fame
but
worthy fights that Robbie Lawler had. Robbie Lawler's whole fight should be, his whole fight career should be in the Hall of Fame.
yeah, man.
Even the
They
boring
haven't
cowboy fight.
have they induced Robbie Lawler to the Hall of Fame
I don't know if they did
like by
Lawler. They
himself?
did him and Rory's fight.
That one's sick, man.
Actually, that wasn't that good of a fight. The
You don't like it?
The first 3 rounds were very boring, very very timid, like not going
I
a
mean,
lot.
no, I thought it was interesting, and then it got into like violent territory.
Yeah,
It's not like all action, but I feel like it's a very good.
yeah.
Fight
Everybody
to watch.
wants to remember it because of the end, and they're like, "Oh, it was an incredibly bloody affair." It's like, no, it only got bloody until like the last 2 rounds, I believe it was.
I mean, but yeah, because it was like both guys being very technical, but I thought it was interesting, especially because they were like open stance matchup shenanigans, and I enjoyed that. So
I watched that fight at Buffalo Wild Wings. That was a wild one.
oh,
I think the craziest fight I watched at Buffalo Wild Wings was T.J. Dillashaw beating Renan Barão the first time. We were like, okay, he's got no. I was kind of like just getting into the sport. I was like, he's got no shot here. This guy's won 30 fights in a row. He's stepping in 2 weeks. No way. And like we're over there playing pool. They had a pool table over there, and we're watching it and keeping our eyes. Like my buddy's like, I think TJ's winning. And I'm like, what? So we zone in and it's like, wow, it's crazy. That was crazy. TJ Dillashaw's a good fighter, man. That's one of my favorites as much as
that's
everybody try.
Oh man, I'm huge on TJ. Maybe my all-time favorite. And that performance was crazy. Yeah, I love TJ Dillashaw, man. And he beat Cruz. And no one is going to ever convince me that he didn't beat Cruz.
I always felt like he got the raw end of the stick too after he lost to Dominic Cruz, because like I felt like he deserved an immediate rematch.
For sure.
But like they made him go through Lineker and a Sunsao while they like fast tracked Cody Garbrandt to the top, and Cody was like ranked 6th at the time he got the title shot, and they bumped him up to like 5, I believe. I was like, Cody didn't deserve it, and then Cody like styles on him. I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe they know something I don't.
And then then what happened? Like Cruz took the title from TJ.
TJ lost to Garbrandt, and then Garbrandt.
Cruz had that stupid defense against Faber, right?
Yeah,
then he lost to
Garbrandt.
I
forgot about the Faber one. Yeah, that was pointless.
He beat the shit out of Faber.
Yeah, and wasn't Faber like retired coming off into that? No.
No, not quite.
That was the Ricky Simon fight I'm thinking about.
Yeah. He came back to the Ricky Simon, and then the worst decision of all time, he came back to lose to Petr Yan, and Petr Yan beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Wait, it was rough to watch.
Petr Yan and Dominic Cruz fought?
No, Faber.
Oh, yeah.
He knocked him out with that front kick to the face. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the elbow coming off the break on that. I was like, who's about to elbow him again? He's about to do it, and put him down. Man, that rise up of Petr Yan was incredible too, dude. Like he gets a lot of hate. He's a little obnoxious, but at the same time, like, man, I really enjoyed Petr Yan's rise, and I thought he was a real fun and interesting fighter.
Yeah, I used to love. I mean, it's the fighters currently on bantamweight that are still good, like Merab and Umar. And Sean O'Malley, they're good, but they're not as cool as the ones before them, in my opinion.
Yeah, like Corey Sandhagen and all them. Even like Aljamain Sterling was interesting.
Yeah, I mean that fierce fight between Aljo and Yan was crazy, and then Aljo coming back to actually win the second one, that was fantastic, man.
Man, I felt bad for Aljo too, because he won the title, weirdly, had to take his time off, and then he comes back and he. Is kind of vindicated in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish Aljo was more active at 145 because he has looked good, man.
Yeah,
that fight against Iploy was crazy, man.
Yeah, it was a very fun fight, man. He just gave up a fight to a very tough opponent. Does Petr Yan get a lot of hate? He seems to be loved by Yan sales, but hated by smart people like us. I don't hate him. I guess I'm a Yan.
I love Petr Yan, to be honest. Like, I mean, I'm not in the way that I'm a fan of him, but like I would never miss a Petr Yan fight in my life. He's like always in baggers, and he's always doing like violent, cool shit.
I feel like he's the best example of a boxer in the UFC right now too. Oh wait, never mind. Ilya exists. Let me tell you, the funniest day in the fight site chat was when Marab beat Panayan. There was a later mood in the trenches for
Oh,
some.
like 90% of us, we are all like Mirab haters. Like not in like a super serious way, but just like he's kind of lame.
He's so
And
lame.
that was like 9/11 for us, man.
Dude, it's
And
funny. We're in a
it,
weird era because it's nothing but cardio kickboxing that wins fights now.
yeah, man. No, but that Mirab versus Fury was crazy because it was like it was never it, if you were like a Peter Yan fan, that felt like it was never going to end.
That was,
it was
I
like
forget how long that
round
fight felt.
after round after round of him beating Peter Yan. It was crazy.
And the problem is like normally you want to ebb and flow in a fight, but that was literally 5 rounds of the same thing over and
Yeah.
over again. And Petr Yan looked like he was just drowning in there.
Yeah, he wasn't even that tired. He was like confused. Like how is this fighting at this high of a pace?
What round is it? Like round 7, round 8?
It felt like that watching live. Like why did they schedule this fight for 10 rounds?
It was so bad. Oh,
Yeah.
Feno, man, look, I appreciate you, buddy. Where can everybody find your stuff?
Okay. You can find me on my. I have 2 YouTube channels. I have this channel that you put here, Feno TFS. I'm posting like short breakdowns and shorts, highlights and that kind of stuff. And you can find me on the Fight Side Presents, where I'm posting the long form content, the podcast and that kind of stuff. You can find exclusive content over on Patreon too, and you can always go to the website, the Fight Site, the Fight bar site.com, where we have the written articles, so you can find me in a lot of places. Also on Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads. I'm everywhere, so yeah, you can find me in those places.
Yeah, and look, I know a lot of your guys are here, but at the same time, like you gotta go. The fight site's one of the now y'all are OGs of the game. I remember when y'all first started, you and Eddie and all them. I remember when y'all first started, and from the jump, it's just been fantastic stuff after fantastic stuff. Anytime that the fight site posts something, you know it's going to be quality and stuff. And I've always appreciated your work and everybody else's work over there.
Appreciate it, man.
I think y'all do a fantastic job.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that we're forming this like community of like people that actually appreciate the sport for the sport and not like the the drama. I mean, you can always get into the drama too. Like it is fun, but it's also fun to actually talk about fights and not like contracts because that gets like tiresome to me.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing every time. Contracts are all the same. Put some yellow letters up, boys. Let's do it. All right, guys. Next Friday, we're going to have somebody on. I don't know who. It might be Feno. Might be somebody else. We'll see.